Hey everybody, I hope y'all had a good fall break. As y'all know, unfortunately, due to the biolab fire, we are Independent Learning Day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th of October. But we've got to keep going, guys. We had a whole break. I don't know what I don't even know if you remember what we were looking at before the break, but we were doing string objects. Um, on that independent learning day, I assigned y'all the Mad Libs lab, but uh, let's just say some of y'all turned in stuff with arrays and other stuff, and it just didn't quite seem like you did it without the help of AI. Um, so I really want you to learn. So on Tuesday, October 8th, just I'm giving you two things to do, but they should be quick because there's going to be a video here with it. But the first thing is strings practice. If you need to go back down to week 9, which is what we did before the break, and go through the string objects PowerPoint and the string methods PowerPoint, so then you can actually do the week 10 um, lessons here. So there is a string practice. This is just to get your brain going again. So let's hope my stuff signs in pretty quick. I should have had this already up. Um, but yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Like, just to kind of review, if we have a string male is the variable name, let's try some code, and we do the dot length. Well, how many characters are here? There's 20. Substring from 0 to 5. That's from the L to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 not included, right? The ending is not inclusive, so it's just let's. All right. Um, I need y'all to do this. So just kind of go through here. It's going to be a good review. I'm going to go through and grade these. So definitely I want you to start with this, okay? So start with the practice to get your brain going again with strings. Again, refer to your PowerPoints. If you need help, I will be in the office hours. So to speaking of the office hours, let's get back to Canvas here. Um, I am doing office hours on this Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10:30, and then also from 1 to 2. So I know some of y'all are morning people, some are afternoon. So if you just log in here, there'll be a Teams meeting, and I will be in it, and I'll let you in. And if you need help, I got you. All right. So again, on the 8th, I want you to do this strings practice, and then I want you to go back and do this Mad Libs lab from I guess it was before our fall break. But again, you're just pulling up this Word document, and I have it here, and you're walking through it. You're doing exactly, what it's asking of you. All right. So I am actually gonna walk through getting it started with you, because I want to make sure y'all can get it going and get it right. All right. So what we're gonna do is I am going to pull up NetBeans. All right, everybody should be familiar with NetBeans. Go up here to the gold box with the green plus, open it up, click next, and then here, call it MadLibs. All right, we're gonna delete our comments out, so that way we just have a default package here. All right, we're gonna work in the main method. So if you read through the lab, let's go ahead and pull it back up. Mad Libs are stories with certain words removed. I'm sure y'all have seen these. Sometimes they're in the newspaper, they're in other stuff. But we're going to ask the user for certain words. For example, a noun, a verb, an adverb, an adjective, right? So I actually give you an example. All right. What the user you entered are these words or these words in bold. So like an example run would be welcome to Mad Libs. Enter in the following separated by a comma and a space. So a verb, comma, space, verb with ed. So like talked is the example here. Teacher name, adjective, song title, exactly, right? You can create your own story. All right. This is just my example. I expect everyone to kind of have their own story, and everybody's code should be different. I don't want to see two exact same Mad Libs turned in. I shouldn't be seeing like loops yet and arrays. Like, I need you to make sure you're doing this and not taking the easy way asking AI. AI would probably do this using arrays and loops. All right, so I'm going to walk through kind of how to start this. All right, so we know that the user is going to actually type in information. So that means we need our scanner. So the first step of using a scanner is to import it. Second step is to create it. All right. And third step is to use it. All right. So we're ready to use it and then store our variables. So we're going to start by, in my example, I said, welcome to the Mad Libs or whatever. All right. Welcome to Mad Libs for Smitty. Why not? Have a little fun with it. Create your own story. All right. Now that we've got that, we need to tell the person to enter in their words. Enter in their words with commas in between. All right. That's important. We're not really trying to go in here and have them enter like 1 word, 2 word, 3 word, 4 word. We want them all entered in at once, delineated by a comma, separated by a comma. All right, so please, a little print statement next that says, I'll do a print. Actually, print line I think makes more sense. So enter the following. I want following separated by a comma and a space, right? We want a comma, and space. Wow, I can't type. All right, comma, and I need my semicolon here. Finish it. All right, so we're gonna then tell them what we want, right? So I want like a verb with an ed, like eat, like talked, walked, um, played, something, a verb with an ed. In my example, I think I said teacher name was next, an adjective was the next, a song title was next, a student name, and an adjective, another adjective. Pretty sure those were the ones that I asked for in my example, right? That sample run. All right. Again, be creative. Make your own story here. If you wanted to do verb, friend's name, pet's name, whatever, you could start by coming up with your story first. All right. So we are asking them for this. So they're going to type in all these things with commas. So now we need to store that. I'm going to call it user input. That's probably a good one. Keyboard is the name of my scanner. And we need to use next line to scan the whole line. All right, so whatever the user types in, so for example on this run, I'm going to run it. Here they're going to type in hello, dog, bird, cat, orange, whatever. It's then being stored into user input. All right, so we will go back. All right, so now that we've stored their user input, we need to actually like separate it out. I kind of like, I think I'm gonna add another print statement because it wasn't clear that like you needed to type. So I'm gonna do user input like that, so then they know where to type. I think I'm doing a blank line, just a blank print line, so that way we create some space. And now we actually need to like separate the words. Okay. So for instance, that first word, the first word. We know that that first word's location is going to be the user input, and then we had this method called index of. All right. So we're trying to find the location of the first comma, right? So the reason we put commas in there in between the words is so that we can figure out like how to like separate out the words. Like word 1 and word 2 are separated by a comma and then a space. All right, so we know in my example, I'm doing verb ed. So I'm finding the location of that comma using the index of method. Then string verb is equal to user input, and then I need a substring. So I need a substring from 0 to where that comma is. So I want to start at the beginning, index 0, and go to where that comma is to find that first verb. All right. Then our user input, then we're going to change what it is. So user input is now going to become user input dot substring of location plus 2. All right. So before I tell you like why are we doing location plus 2, location is where that comma is, and then space will be one index over, and then plus another one will be the first letter of the next word. So for instance, up here, let's look at it right here, verb. So we had verb, all right, so let's say it was run, and then a comma. The comma we saved into location, but if we want to get the beginning of this next verb, we need to plus 2. We need the space and then the first letter of the next one. All right, so now I go down and second word, it's going to be something very, very similar, right? The location now becomes user input dot index of, right? So same thing. I'm just looking for, like we've resaved, right? We resaved our sentence. Like how I can check this, I'll show you after we do second word. How I can like check to see what's going on, I'll show you in a second. So now we want our verb with the ed, right? So that's going to be, again, user input dot substring of 0, and then again that location, because we've changed our string a little bit. All right, then again we're going to update it is equal to the user input dot substring of location plus 2. All right, and that's how we're going to get our second word. Okay, I think I did everything right. So if we run it now, we're not really printing anything yet, but if I said ran, walked, Mr. Smith, right? And I click enter, nothing happens. So let's test to see if what we're doing works. So when you're doing this, it's important to test. So all you got to do is add some print statements here. So if I want to print out, let's say verb, and then plus the variable verb, then I can see to make sure that we got the verb. So user input is sprint, cheated, and Mr. Davis. All right, see, we got the verb sprint, which is what we wanted. All right, if I want to check to see that my code is right here, then I can add another print statement. And let's just say verbid, and verbid should be stored into our variable verbid. So if we do that again, sprint, cheated, Mr. Davis. Now sprint and the verbid is cheated, okay? So I'm just double checking that I'm doing this right. So I can always just comment out these print statements because I know they worked, but I can leave them in there. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the third word. In this case, the third word was the teacher's name in my example. So location again is equal to the user input dot index of, and we're looking for that comma. All right, then I guess teacher name, teacher. I like teacher. All right, user input dot substring of 0, comma, lock. All right, you're starting to see that, like, because the way we're resaving our string, or we're creating a new string every time, that a lot of the code is the same, which kind of makes it a little more like rinse and repeat. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and copy, and I'm going to paste. I'm going to uncomment that. I'm going to put in teacher, and I'm going to put in teacher. All right. So now if I run this, let me just check it works. Sprint it, or wait, sprint cheated Mr. Davis. Ooh, it didn't work. I might have made a mistake. Let me look. What did I do here, guys? Location, location plus 2, user input, string teacher, index of is comma. Oh, you know what it might be? Let's see. Print cheated Mr. Davis. Awesome. So it was because I didn't like end with another comma. We were already updating a location. So here I'm updating the location and I didn't put in the next location, all right? So all right. So on and so on. Like, all right, this was our third word. Third word. All right. Then you guys are going to continue. Fourth word. Can't spell. Fourth word. Same type of thing. Fifth word. Please check it. Sixth word. I want you to do at least 6 words, all right? If you got 6 words, then I think you'll be, I'll know that you understand how to use index of and substring and different string methods. All right, so then finally your output, and that's where you do the story. So I'm trying to remember what my story was. I think it was a plus, and then it was the adjective, but the thing is I don't have the adjective, so I'm just gonna say it was. I'm gonna use the example of verb. It was a verb. I'm just doing partial here, guys. I expect you to do the whole thing. So it was a verb. Or let's see. Let's change it. Mr. Smith was, or Mr. It's a verb. So Mr. Smith blank to the store to get, to the store some cheese, right? He needed the cheese because he verbed, I guess, all over the place. I don't know. It's getting weird. But just to kind of show you here, what we're looking for is user input is going to be, let's do manufacture, comma, programmed, comma, Mr. Smith. Awesome. I don't know. All right, but at the end, I've got a little bit to do here, but you can see that Mr. Smith manufactured to the store to get some cheese. He needed the cheese because no programmed all over the place. That one doesn't really make sense. That's how Mad Libs go. But you can see how we're putting in user input using our string methods to then put it into output. All right. And again, I gave you a whole scenario in the lab. If you take a look back at it, uh, like this is kind of how I want it to look at the end. Everybody should be different. You should not be using arrays. You should not be using loops. You should be doing it exactly how I'm doing it in this video. So if you've already submitted, please go back and do it right. And make sure you do at least 6 inputs, all right? Again, office hours, if you guys need it, office hours are listed on Canvas. So that'll be 9 a.m. to 10:30 in that Teams meeting, or 1 o'clock to 2 p.m. in the Teams meeting, and I'll be there to help you out. All right, guys, appreciate it. Thanks.